Hi guys, thanks for coming. You know, for a long time I've been really intrigued with vintage jewelry. If you know me, you know that about me. I love vintage jewelry. It makes me so excited. And I really like vintage flower basket brooches. For a long time I've been thinking of ways maybe that we could wire flower basket brooches or pendants or whatever that wouldn't take a long time to do, but they would give that same pretty, old-fashioned look. So I think I figured something out that you might enjoy doing. It kind of goes along with the bead mosaic type stuff. So before I ask you to come on over here and see what I've done, I'm going to ask you please to like my channel and please subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And if you have any questions or something kind to say to me, I would love it if you left me a comment. We do respond. So come on over here and let me show you my vintage pendant like a flower basket. Hi guys, I'm back again, and this is what I had in mind. Okay, now I've seen these flower baskets and they have flowers all coming out, and I even looked at 1928 to see if I could find a flower basket that was a brooch that could work, because people don't wear brooches as much now, so we got to make it into a pendant, or at least a pin pendant or something. And I just didn't find quite the right thing. But then I had this moment of discovery, and I remembered that we had the doll mount for the little tea drinking doll. You've seen her before. We've done some videos about her. This is Emma Bebe. I used to call her Pinky. She's kind of a famous piece over at 1928. They've made jewelry out of her different times over the years, and we carry them on our website. If you'd ever like to have one, make jewelry out of her, just have for a little figurine, we do have them over there. It's in the ceramic flowers section. But anyway, I didn't want to put her in it because I don't really like to see a part that there's only one way to use it, So I've been thinking for a while, what can I do with this? And then all of a sudden, like, oh, my flower basket thing, my bouquet thing. So this is what I made. Now, of course, that's not a basket. I'm not quite sure how to make it a basket yet. Maybe I will figure that out one day. But I do have a lovely bouquet with a lovely tassel. And it's a little bit like our flower garden necklace we did a few weeks ago, but not really. Because this is a casting, it's not a painted stamping, and this is much more demure or petite. And the chain is shorter, and there are just a lot of different things about it, really. So anyhow, so what I've done to show you how to get started, this is the one I made. This is the back of it. You can see it's really nicely finished. There are holes down along the bottom here. You can see that you can put chain or dangles. If you don't want to put chains, you could put just dangle drops if you want. And then up here there are two very nice holes for hanging. So, or if you just want to put it on a bail, you could put it through this one. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. Now, it does have places to set rhinestones into it too, which if you wanted to, you can. But really, until you get all of this done, probably won't be necessary because you'll have it filled up. But anyway, this gives you a really nice shape to kind of follow to make your flower bouquet. And so what I've done is I have taken the Czech beads and I've put them on a variety of eye and head pins so that I could kind of stack them and twist them and put them in the middle. And I will have to glue them in. I might find sometime down the road a way that I can wire it by wrapping around, but I want it to look nice on the back, the same as it does on the front. So I've experimented with a bunch of things. I put rhinestones on the end of some and whatever, And then I started to wrap them. Okay, you can see I just took one and wrapped it around the stem of another one that's longer. That's all there was to it. And then this way I can bend them into position. So what I'll do is I will then take this piece, I'll cut this off, and I'll just keep bending them in and just kind of wiring them down in. And actually not wiring them, they will be glued. They'll be glued down in here. I'll press it down, they'll get glued in. And then we'll just keep moving them around until we get a pleasing arrangement. And then once we're done gluing as many as we can, it's usually like I would say 5 or 6 of these. That's it you're going to do. And you just kind of follow the form of it, kind of a fan shape. And then after that, the rest will be glued in or on top, as you can see here, and I'll show you again. See, these are on wire, okay? Those are wired. But these, this is on wire too, but these were glued on, okay? And so it's kind of a combination beading, assemblage, and mosaic, all of that in one, okay? Not really mosaic, but it's the same beads we're using to bead mosaic. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to put it on the pin. Now, I don't mind having it on an eye pin on the end because I think it makes this cute little swirly thing on the end, and I kind of like that, okay? If you don't, then just put them on head pins. Period, the end. It's as easy as that. So I'll show you how to do it, and I'm just going to choose a few, kind of random like. I'm going to take one of these beads here, which are my Czech beads. This one's called Gasperite. I don't really know why that is, but it is. It's this lovely limey, coppery color. And then I'm going to put maybe this little one, a pink one. These are my favorite colors, so I went with my favorite colors. And then I'm going to probably put a little bellflower there. Kind of holds it. It reminds me a little bit of little tiny stick pins and little tiny hat pins. You know, that kind of a look. If you ever made hat pins and stick pins, just think of that as you're putting these together. But you got to put a stopper at the end. So how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to show you. What I do is I get out my handy dandy E6000. Oh, by the way, if you like these little tiny bottles, which I do, I find I get the most for my money out of them because I hardly ever waste any. I get it all out of the bottle. But I take just a little bit on my toothpick. Okay, and then of course I'm going to cover that right away because it's a fresh bottle, so it'll tend to run out. Don't know if you've ever noticed that, but it will. And then I'm going to take, and I'm just going to kind of dauber a little bit here, okay? And then I'm going to take one of these little beads here, these little tiny 4mm faceted beads. You know, anything you have will work, you know. You don't even have to use flower beads or anything. We do carry these at the website. But, I mean, whatever you have that'll work, can just be regular beads. It doesn't even have to be flower beads, okay? But I put that there because it kind of sort of helps hold it, you know? You put just a little dab of glue there on the end. If you have teeny tiny crimps, wouldn't be a bad idea just to crimp it in place. I've done that before, too. I didn't do these, but that would totally, totally work. It'd be a good idea. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the ones that, you know, I've already done. And I'm going to just start layering. Now, this is a place where, you know, we could get held up and take some time because you kind of have to play with it. And I haven't made a lot of these yet. So, you know, no two are ever alike anyway. It's the same as assemblage. Everything you do, each one's like a whole new deal. Whole new job of doing it. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to act like I'm arranging flowers, kind of really, and I'm just taking it and I'm just winding it around the main stem. It's not anything fancy, just to keep it on there. That's all I want to do. And then I'll move them in position when I get good and ready. That's when I'll do it. Okay, so anyway, so I'm just going to keep putting them on here and hope for the best so that we don't have to start over and stop and start over a lot. But when you're doing this at home, you may get into that, some stopping and starting and doing it over. Because it's just something you kind of have to play with. But I think the project is worth it. So I've made brooches like this too, where I've just wrapped them and wrapped them and wrapped them into wire and then bound the stem with wire, and I wired a pin back on and made a little something. And we're not going to worry about this showing here because that is probably where we would take a bead and glue it in place to hide it. That was the reason for that, okay? So now I've got like 4 here. Let's see how this is heading out for us. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. You might look at it and say, I don't know, Brenda. I think we're good. I really do. I think we're going to be good here. So no worries. But I'm going to use all the ones on the longer head pins first, and then I have some ones on the shorter ones. You might say, well, why did you do that? It's because they're good for sticking in between where you didn't get it filled in. Okay, I'll show you. You'll see. You shall see. So now I've got 5 on here, and they're all wired together, and it doesn't matter if they're laying all flat or nothing like that. Mainly we're going for form and for shape here, okay? So I've got it pretty well hooked together, and then I'm going to pull this over here and cut it because I don't want it to hit Javi in the face. That wouldn't be nice. Safe. I want to be safe. So I've clipped it off about here. About here. I hope you're going to have fun playing with this because it yields such a nice project. It's such a pretty look. Okay, maybe I'll turn it this way. And what I'm doing with this is I'm just trying to get my basic primary form of, you know, it's like when you do flower arranging, if you've ever done it, you know how you put your basic flowers in first, kind of to get the shape of your arrangement first. It's really a lot like that. Okay, so now I'm going to get this down in. I'm going to bend it a bit so that it will, you know, kind of fit down in here a little bit. And you might say, oh, that looks so clumsy, Brenda. Believe me, we're going to get it to work. It's going to be fine. It's just I'm hoping that I can get it to go together a little bit like Kismet while I'm on here with you. So you can, you know, see how it goes, because that's the whole purpose of it. You know, I could just take this and, hey, look what I made. You might be able to figure it out. That's fine. But this is really right here. This is kind of the more tough spot of it. Okay, so we'll get this done. And if some of it's hanging out of here, don't worry too much about that. In fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll just kind of bend it up and out of the way. That's probably going to be a better thing for gluing it anyhow. You know, and it won't matter how many of these you ever make, you're still going to be always learning. So yeah, this is going to be a better thing. I put these in first. I don't know if I should have. These would be my dangles at the bottom. I might have just been better off to leave them out until I got this done. But anyway. And here's the thing. If you put some in and you say, oh, that's too many for now, I need to clear that, just clip one off. It's okay. I might end up doing that too here when I'm looking at it. Okay, so now this is laying in here pretty nice. I can see a pattern. I don't know if you can, but I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bend this back. I want it to get down in because this is kind of, you know, concave. I'm sure there are other things you could do this on too that will work with, but this was kind of the one that intrigued me, and it gave me a nice shape too, and it had all the hanging holes and all that stuff. So it kind of looked good like that. Okay, I'm going to start gluing it in. And this is just going to be basic. You're going to have to let it set up, all that, you know, but... And then too, if you end up having to, you know, clean some of it out, I'm going to put it down first. I'm going to put a lot of glue in here. Down first. Okay. As you can see how nice this one just went together like it was just meant to be. But this one might give us a little trouble first. Don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, so I put it up this way. I was kind of going this way. I'll put my finger down on it and kind of spread them out a little bit. Okay, so that gives me some form for it. You know, I'll tweak this yet. It's not going to get left like that. It's going to end up, too, being a little bit higher than this one. So maybe I'll push it down a little bit, too. Yeah, we'll do that. And you probably end up getting some on your fingers, too. It's almost inevitable. So, anyway, so I'll hold that here for a minute. And in fact, you know what at this point might be pretty good for you is if you have clamps, the little clips, you might want to clamp it and walk away from it for a little while and let it set up, okay? And I see something else that I'm not going to like is this one. This one I can tell already is going to be a problem child, so I'm taking it out. I like to start with 5, but I'm taking this one out. It's going to be a problem child, I can tell right now. I might even end up having to take that one out yet. But for now, I'm leaving it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, you know what the problem child on this is? It just occurred to me. It's because I put all this stuff here on the top. That one should have been one going up here. I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Don't worry, we can still use them. In fact, we might use them right away. But yeah, if you want to do this part first and then clamp it for a while, come back after it, let it set up a little bit, might not be a bad idea. Also, if you have pieces going up like this, be sure you can clear to put your chain in the back, okay? Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do, since I have this one here, I'm going to just glue it in somewhere else, which will be right here. Maybe. I'm going to just glue it like that, maybe, for now. Alrighty, and then I have another one here. I want to go kind of like here. So I'm gonna just clip it and then do this. Okay. Now, the way to make these, you know, just be sure when you make them, you know, you take your end, you put your, we'll just talk about this a little bit more, put this on here, a few other things. Be sure at the end you glue it or crimp it, okay? Remember that. Okay, so I've got about 4 here, just very loosely glued in. You say, oh, that's never going to stay. Yeah, it'll stay till I'm done with it. It'll stay. But this is probably going to be like something you're going to do like in several stages. I'm going to bend this one back a little bit, in fact. So it goes in here better. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so now, let's see, how did I put a flower here, here, and here? Let's see that if we can do that and how that'll go. Because that'll help to kind of hold it down. But like I say, it might be better for you first to kind of clamp this and walk away and come back to it. I did this in several steps. I didn't just sit down and do it, okay? That's the one thing about this. You're going to probably want to do it in several steps. I'm going to come down along here. But of course I'm going to hide all the ugly wires. And then of course the glue from this piece is going to help hold this in place. So that's all good. And then, let's see. I got to do another one yet. So I guess maybe to stagger it, maybe it would be one like this. So I'm going to push this up here, and this is going to go in under it. Okay. So it'll be kind of like that. And then, you know, you'll have your fill. Like I put a little one there. And on top of some of these, I glued flat backs, you know. But you don't have to do that. If you prefer not to see that flat back on there, then don't do it. I did it on mine, but you don't have to. No need. You do what's best for you. Okay, I need something definitely in here, but I got a little piece, which that's a good thing. So I just might kind of dunk it down in here and then kind of stick it in. I think you're getting the point now. This is why these short ones are good. I wish I had more of them here done, because they, let's see, I need one over here. Just have to be careful you don't move it around too much. Another thing I might do is when this is set up and glued really good and it's firm, I might take the end of this off and all this stuff here and just leave it with like, I might just wrap the end like a little swirly thing, because this is kind of sticking up too much, I think. We'll see. I'll decide later. I don't have to decide now. That's the one good thing about it. I don't have to decide now. Okay, now I got this piece over here that's little, or this one, maybe. Maybe this would go. I'll cut this off a little bit. And I'm going to stick it in. Get a little glue on it maybe first. Yeah, whoops, that slid down because it wasn't set up yet, that's why. You might want to, you know, make your little eye pins and stuff for it, you know, ahead of time and have them all stuck together and ready to go. Okay. But I think you can see kind of, you know, what I'm going for with this, I hope. You can see here it does work. And it came out good. This is falling out. It really should be done in stages. It really should be done in stages. And this one might be too long for here. So I think maybe after I'll take it out. So I'll just kind of put it back over here. And let's see how this one looks. Maybe this one would work better. Trial and error. Yeah, that might work better. So anyway, what I would do at this point now, if I were you and I was making this, or even for me, because I'm going to have to, we'll be here all day and all night, and that's not necessary. This is kind of a place where you kind of need to stop and just let it sit up. Walk away from it and come back. And like with all assemblage type projects, you always put the biggest pieces on the bottom, which is what we've done. Now, when we come back to it, when it's set up better, then what we would do is we would add little pieces. Like I might add one of these little guys in here, and I might add some little beads, or maybe put one of these in here. I might cut this off and just curl it too. You know, that's where I trim it, is later, not at the beginning. Put that in like that, so you can see how it's going to work. And I've got pearls too, so this is kind of going off sideways, but I got a lot of wire in there to cover, so I probably would do it by just putting these on, okay? But another thing that I have, this just came in this week, and I'm not sure, these are going to be really good for bead mosaic, but if you guys do the bead pattern beading, you know, that makes all the pretty jewelry that, you know, you have to do on string. Well, I got these because I thought they'd be good for bead mosaic, but they also would be good for assemblage because you will be able to glue them in also, these little Rosetta beads. And we do have them in little containers on the website. It's like a mini muse of things that you can use to do bead mosaic. We do have some on there. But those would work too. Just a lot of things. A few things about this up here look awkward, so I'll let it set up. I'll come back and I'll fix it after it does that. But it'll be better then. But I think, you know, you can see the direction I'm going with it. And when it's done, it will be lovely. And I will prove that to you, because when it's done, I'll show you when it's done, okay? I'll continue to work on this one through the weekend. Maybe I'll have it for my, one of my newsletters very soon. Or I'll put it in the community section. Do you ever look in the community section on YouTube and on my channel? I put a lot of pictures there. You should check that out. But anyway, this is how this one came out. I put little rhinestones in here. I had some little ball-end head pins. So I, you know, put the little, these kind of beads. Where is it? Here. This little kind of bell bead, I put it on there and stuck it in there and bent it around. And I put some pearls in to do some fill and, you know, different things. And this one really came out great, I have to say. It did. And then what I did at the bottom is I took 5 pieces of chain and dangled it. And then I had them way too long, so I just trimmed them up and, you know, I put things on the end until it, you know, looked nice. And then this chain up here is not terribly long. I think this is about 20 inches, 21 around the neck. So this isn't going to hang way down. It's going to hang just kind of down the front of my blouse. And it'll be very pretty that way. And this is vintage chain. I don't have any more, but sadly, I wish I did. But anyway, this is the idea that I had. And as you can see, I'm going to have to work on this a good bit more. But I wanted to put it together, you know, somewhat so you could kind of get an idea of what, you know, I was doing with it. If you have questions, by all means, ask me. I will not be offended so long as you ask me nice, okay? So anyway, I look forward to finishing this for you and showing you how I changed it up. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want to do it, I will put the SKU number for that doll mount from BC 1928. I'll put that in the description, and I'll show you where the Czech beads are, because we have all of these on the website. And we also have all the rhinestone rondelles as well, if you need them. And we have a lot of pretty chain on the site, too, so maybe I'll recommend one to you that would work, in case you're looking for one. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like my project. Thanks for coming. I got a lot of cool new ones coming up, so I hope you'll keep watching. Thank you so much. Have a great day. You've been wonderful, and we'll see you again very soon.